In today's video, I'm going to tell you about a secret place in the Uintahs. This secret place is called Moon Lake, and it's not that secret. Many people know about it. But each year they have a Moon Lake gathering where they get together and tell stories about the lost treasures and mysteries of the Uinta Mountains. And we usually go to that. We went to it in 2023. We're going to it this year to watch some of the speakers. But we decided to stay up here at Moon Lake so that we can investigate the mountains and try to see what we could find. And we found a lot. The Uinta Mountain story, well, from what I've been told, I don't know the whole story, but I'll try to give you the shortened version. So supposedly, the Spanish were in here in the early 1700s mining. This is before the crossing of Escalante into Utah. And what they did is they came in, they found these mines, and they enslaved Native Americans to work in these mines. Some people think they worked these mines for 200 or 300 years. And what drove them out is the natives banding together different tribes and heading them off at the fork of Dry Canyon near Rock Creek Peak and driving the Spanish out. Some of the Spanish survived, made it back to their homelands, lived to tell the tale to their families. Their families later returned to try and find these mines. There's also the Spanish shipwreck, the Atocha off the coast of Florida. And when it was found, there's a lot of gold on there and silver bars. But what they also found that was peculiar, it appeared to be a map of the Uinta Mountains. And many of the cibolas, which is kind of the stamp markings they put on gold bars so they know where they came from, well, those cibolas match some of the gold bars, cibolas that were found in the Uinta Mountains also. And it was so interesting that the person who found the treasure ship, the Atocha, he later came to the Uinta Mountains looking for the source of the gold himself. So we decided to go on a little trip into the Uintas for ourselves to check it out. We actually came up a couple years ago, a different area, but this time we're staying at Moon Lake, and we're going to investigate the mystery for ourselves. We've got a group of buddies that we all met playing pool. We live in the Ogden area. We enjoy the stories of the treasure hunts. I actually got into this a lot listening to Terry Carter's YouTube videos, and I'm really fascinated with the Uinta Mountain area. So after the Spanish were here and drove it out, the Mormon pioneers, as we know, moved over. Brigham Young and them come over and settled the area, and they befriended Chief Wakara. Chief Wakara was baptized into the Mormon church, and he actually supposedly revealed some of these mine locations throughout the Uintas for the church's benefit and resources. And Brigham Young appointed a prospector by the name of Thomas Rhodes, who worked at the Sutter Mill and different projects in California, who was a prominent LDS member. Brigham Young appointed Thomas Rhodes to go into the Uinta Mountains and meet up with the Native Americans and extract ore for the church. So Thomas Rhodes would go into the mountains and meet up at the fork of the Duchesne River and Rock Creek River and be led into a secret location in the mountains. Some people still protect these locations to this day. Some people exploit them for their resources. I'm just here to document them and tell the story. Now I'm going to go over the areas to explore, areas of interest. So we're coming here for the Moon Lake Gathering, and it's actually down in Duchesne at the Centennial Event Center. And there's some free camping there, but we decided to camp up in the Uintas at Moon Lake instead. And there's a lot of interesting sites around there. I don't know if we're going to get to see all of them, but I've marked them all here on my Onyx map. And as you see, I've done a lot of research marking out the fault lines and doing different research out of the book I read by Dale Bascom, Following the Legends. So this is where we camped last time. It was up the Yellowstone Creek, Have some pictures here. There's a hammocks, there's Danny's tent camper, nighttime, Colby, and there's on bikes. Colby actually walked up into these caves up there 3 years ago and left his hatchet up there. So this is I don't know if it's the same cave, but it's similar. He thinks that he's seen a doorway there to the bottom right. Not the same picture, but we're also going to check out this, it's known as the Hancock Mine. It's a cabin that's built in the middle of a cave, and people were mining up there in the early 1900s. If we get time, we're going to go over to Blind Stream and Rock Creek area. There's an Eagle Rock here. This is from the Dale Baskin book as well. It's those pictures. This is the Moon Lake area. I want to go drone. There's some known shafts that are on the side of this mountain here, so we're going to drone the side of that mountain. And then, we're starting home. We got a long ways to go. So this is the route we're going to do. We live in the Ogden area. We all met playing pool, actually, out of the bars in Ogden. My friend Colby, who came with us, actually owns the Blue Sapphire Gentlemen's Club. So, we're going to do this long route through Hannah. We might actually swing down into Duchesne and then come up, just depending on traffic, and then get to our destination here at Moon Lake. Might as well check the weather while we're at it, too. I think the first 3 days it's going to rain and thunder on us. Might clear up later in the week, Saturday and Sunday. That's a forecast for, I think, Hannah. We'll look up Duchesne's as well. Kind of the same thing. Thunderstorms first day. So this is night 1. We got to stay in the Moon Lake Resort. We also set up our camp at the Moon Lake Campground so we didn't lose our spots. Kept in reserve for the entire weekend. So see, I got my Razor there. Tim's got his trailer there. And
yeah, it's fine out here.
The cabin we stayed in. We actually had 2 cabins. Cabin 7, cabin 22. This is cabin 7, the inside of it. This cabin was built over 100 years ago. It was originally more in the bottom of Brown Duck Creek. And when they dammed up Moon Lake, they had to move these cabins all to their original location, or to their present location where they're at now. Pretty cool spot, and I really enjoyed that.
Not using the audio.
At the Moon Lake Resort. Again, this is our campsite. We're about to go fishing. This is the night 1. Watching down. We camped right by the access down to the beach. It was really cool this year because the water was so low that they let us drive our vehicles right down onto the beach. They never really allow that, so we got to experience something rare. So after we got settled into our campsite to reserve those spots, and checked into the cabins, we went down to the beach for a little bit of fishing and kind of just exploring the area. It was raining the whole drive up, and it rained after this and was thunderstorming. I was able to get a couple good shots with the drone and flew it around. Got these pictures. I love the reflection of the mountain down in the lake. That is just gorgeous. It's looking north. This is the inside of one of the cabins. The next morning, I woke up, had some donuts, had the fire going. Went down to the beach again. This time I took the Razor down there. Casey out there with his dog Coco running around. And flew the drone around, just kind of exploring the area. I'll quit talking now so that you can enjoy some of these sights. So this is us walking up the Lake Fork Trail up into Brown Duck Creek that flows into Moon Lake. As you see, the bridge is blown out completely from the mudslide. This is just up from that. If you go up the creek a little bit, there used to be remnants of an old Spanish cairn. I couldn't find it. I looked at a couple rock washes up there. As you see, there's a ton of deadfall from the mudslide. If there was something there, it is so far underneath rock, it will never be found. But anyways, that area is pretty interesting. That bridge is completely blown out, though. And then this is my attempt at crossing this little river bridge with my broken ass legs. And and I did all right, but man, I'm slow. Casey just walks right across the river with his dog. But yeah, I take my sweet time on here because I don't want to slip off. Because the day after this, I end up falling off a boat into the water and getting drenched, and then waiting 2 hours for my buddy to come back down the hill, and we made our way back in the rain.
What you could do.
But we hiked on around Moon Lake, so from the Brown Duck base, or from the Brown Duck Creek where it flows in, we kind of followed that around to the north into Moon Lake and followed this old trail. It's not the original Lake Fort trail, it's kind of off from that. And there used to be a Spanish cairn down here. I think the rocks have been repurposed for some people's fire pits, because I think it was around this area where the cairn was. And also some people have been over in this area and they built like a big pile of a tree fort. It looked like a Bigfoot house to me, but that's what I keep calling it, or referring to it as. But yeah, as you see, it's just right off here, pretty close to the beach. It's obviously man-made, but pretty cool nonetheless. This area just off the beach there, though, if you want to follow it around, this would be a pretty sweet day camp spot if the lake level is up higher, so I'll have to remember that. So while we was out there fishing, Danny flew his drone up over this little rock washout that's to the southwest of Moon Lake to investigate, while Colby walked up it. I didn't really find nothing, but it was definitely interesting. It's a washout that's been there for a while. And then here's a video of the lightning from night 1. See the trees in the background flashing with the lightning. It's kind of spooky. Nonetheless, the cabin we slept in the first night, we didn't know at the time, but that was going to be the most comfortable night of sleep we had this entire trip, because the entire rest of it, without that heater in the cabin or a nice bed to sleep in, I absolutely froze my ever-loving ass off. Well, we started day 3 off like we usually did, fishing from the shores of Moon Lake. Drove the Razor down there and deployed the drone because I wanted to investigate the cliffs near the dam of Moon Lake and also get some shots of Moon Lake itself. So these cliffs right here, Pick Murdoch had a shaft up here somewhere along this cliff face. So I got the drone up there as close as I could. It wouldn't let me go any higher in elevation. So this is as high as I can get and looking. We also went out rented a canoe, and Colby took off up these cliffs while I waited in the boat, and I slipped and fell in the water. And so I was sitting there in the boat drying off while Colby went up and explored. As you see in that last pic, there was actually showing the South Flank Fault, where it crosses Moon Lake. And this is looking the north end of Moon Lake along the shores. But anyway, I sat in the boat drying off while Colby was up there exploring for about 2 hours. It started raining. Colby came back down from the cliffs, jumped in the boat, started storming like crazy, and we paddled as fast as we could to get back. On day 4, we decided to venture into Yellowstone Creek area. This is where we camped the last time we came in 2023. And this area is where the Colby Caves are, where we camped last time. It's also got a good area to go and shoot guns. So we came to this gravel pit here, and kind of staged. This is where we got to fire off some of our guns to test them out. And then also up from here is the Colby Caves. And this is me hiking up to the Colby Caves, or attempting to. I broke my legs last year, so I was still not hiking quite good. I was actually happy I was able to get up this at all. But anyway, here's me hiking. I kind of sped it up 2 times, so you're not having to watch the entire thing slow. So after returning back down, because I couldn't reach up to where Colby was in the cave, I came back down to the gravel pit where we was firing off some rounds, and Danny was also flying his drone, so I was taking a look up and through the shots he was getting with the drone to see where Colby was up in the caves. Let's see, Dan.
Oh yeah, see, he's in there. He just came out. He had both.
So looking at the pictures from the drone, this is the caves that Colby was up in. Got a couple different pictures, slowly getting closer into the cave that Colby was actually standing in. 3 years ago, Colby walked up here and hit his pickaxe into the rock and couldn't get it out. So he hiked up there this time with another pickaxe so he can pry it out of there, and managed to get a picture of him inside the cave after he got his pickaxes. Took 3 years. They set up there, nobody even touched him.
To the hatchets.
Colby still didn't want to come back down from his
There's
caves.
another one over
We
here
called
that I
up to
wanna
him
look at, too.
a couple times. He said he wanted to stay up there. So we decided to change locations after this and move down by the river after we got done shooting some shots and droning this area. So yeah, this is us firing off some rounds, having some fun like veterans do. And we're going to head down to the Riverview campground and go do some fishing after this spot. So this is down here at the Riverview campground, or Riverview campground. This is where we camped last time we came here. Only reason we didn't come here this time is because it's a 1-hour drive down a washboard dirt road, and we didn't want to pull the trailers down it this time. Figured it was easier to just drive the vehicles down here, but we missed out because I think it's a lot more pretty down here and would have been a more secluded camping spot for us. We'd have enjoyed it a lot more. But this is some views up and down the river, and I also get the drone out and fly it up and down the river too. This is still down there in the Riverview campgrounds, and we was just hanging out. Matt had just caught a fish.
a little ways up the river.
So he's back here at the truck. He decided to throw this fish back. We caught a fish yesterday here at the same spot, and we ate it. It was delicious. Cooked it up with some lemons inside of it and some salt. But this one, Matt is getting it ready to get the hook out of its mouth and get it back in the water. So while Matt and Tim decided to keep fishing, I wanted to test out some panning in the creek. So I found a spot underneath this, trying to get underneath these big rocks here where I thought some stuff might have been trapped. So I'm gonna attempt to run a pan here. Right now I'm getting all the heavy stuff in there with the shovel. Get the dirt in there, get some water in there, shake it, and then bake it. Getting down here to the end of this pen, it's not really too much to see. I get it down to the last bits, and there's just little metal flakes, maybe little specks of gold or silver or metallics. There's definitely something seeping metallics in the river, and this is for just one little pan and an area under a rock. I think that's pretty good indication that something up further this stream is depositing some gold into it. Which makes sense because the areas where they was mining further up this, up Swift Creek, could have been the source of it. So Matt and Tim continuing the fish here. And at this point, I'm getting ready to go and investigate the Hancock mine. This is the cabin in the cave mine, sometimes I refer to it, or the hanging tree mine up Swift Creek, to go and locate that. So Tim continues fishing here. He just caught a fish. He's trying to get it off of there. And I'm going to start my investigation up Swift Creek. up here looking for the lost cabin in the cave mine, and I'm pretty sure that I cannot get through this anymore. Been following the Swift Creek. Got some pretty cool sights in here actually. I don't know if you can see it, but over this way through the trees is a cave. That's not the one we're looking for though. We'll try to work our way back. This has been a sketchy hike solo. Make sure we get back to friends. Pretty sketched out. See by the bushwhack. It's trail sometimes. There's some cool sights here. You see this little dock train there. Slip Creek there. Go through these. Look at this. Ow. Don't have the best shoes for this. Sketch area here. Down. I don't even know if we're coming up the same fucking one. Yeah, I do remember this branch actually. Oh, there's a piece of frickin' shroomy. What's that? No luck. I kind of got treed out. I was pretty discouraged I couldn't find the cabin in Swift Creek, but I got back to Riverview and Colby was there. And he showed me a rock he pulled out of that cave he was up in that took him so long to come back down from. And I've got to say, this is a pretty damn interesting rock. It's very heavy. Look at the quartz crystallization. It almost looks like either an iron deposit there on that left side, or it could be, who knows, gold. But it is very heavy rock, so we're going to have some further testing done on this. And just the crystallization of that. People say that this doesn't happen in Uintas, but here it is in my hand. If you want to know more about this rock, or maybe see it in person, stop by the Blue Sapphire in Ogden on a Thursday night and order yourself a steak. The person who made that steak is the person who found it, and he might have some things he can tell you about it. So we made our way back down the Yellowstone River. This is the Yellowstone Ranch, the original Yellowstone Ranch, not from the TV show. That's the ATV trail, the Hills Canyon, and the Yellowstone ATV trail. What's kind of funny about that is the access road to get to that, you can't ride ATVs on. So you got to trailer them up there, park in that parking lot, and then go. This little spot here next to the res border, I'm not going to disclose any more about that location. There used to be a mine over here. And in the end of the movie Golden Roads, Paul Tabby takes them into that mine on the other side of those trees. It's washed out now, don't go searching for it. It's too close to the native border. And also there was cyanide discovered in it, so even if you get inside it, you'll probably be poisoned. This area, I believe, is the Enigma site. And this is me kind of zooming in. See that little cave there? That's Lake Fork Mountain. That's probably one of Pick Murdoch's shafts there. We get back to Moon Lake here. Get some nice drone shots for tonight. And then we went out for a nice little night ride on the ATVs, UTVs, motorcycle. This is the inlet from Brown Duck into Moon Lake. And as you see, the lake is very low. So low that the little bridge over there is washed out from the inlet of Brown Duck. This is that wash that Colby had walked up, the rock slide. Closer view of the rock slide area there. Now we come into our last night, and I want to end on some important talking notes. First of all, the Uintahs is a very sacred place. After being here the last couple days and in exploring these places for myself, I can't help but feel that this place needs to be safeguarded. The natives are safeguarding all this area for a reason. It's very sacred, and their ancestors were working these mines for a very long time. Some of them probably didn't even see the light of day. And one thing that we can learn about the Uintah story is when either the government or the wealthy could come in and they'll take whatever resources they want. You know, we're kind of seeing this now with data centers. I think the most important resource isn't gold, it's water. And without water, we can't do anything. And right now we have these data centers and those people who want to build these data centers that have gotten in cahoots with our government leaders and paid them off. And they're going to do everything they can to build these and steal our natural resources, just like the Mormon pioneers stole resources from the Native Americans when they came over here, just like the Europeans and Spanish settlers who came in and mined the Uintahs stole also. And one thing that we need to do to protect ourselves from this happening in the future is to not allow these organizations or government entities to come in and steal our valuable resources, because at the end of the day, if we don't have water to drink, we can't survive. And what are these data centers being built for anyway? You know, I see all these flock cameras going up everywhere. On the drive to the Uintahs, we probably passed 50 of them. And those things tracked our location and probably our entire route there and back. For those of you who don't know, these flock cameras are all over your cities. And these flock cameras require a lot of data storage. These data centers are being built to track us. These data centers are being built so they know where we're at, what we're doing at all times, in the name of safety. Now, is that safe? In the state of Utah, with all these flock cameras we have, there's been over 1 million hits where there's been people trying to search what individuals are doing through these flock cameras. Only 10,000 of these requests came from law enforcement. The rest of those came from outside private agencies. Who has access to the data in these flock cameras? And why is it being sold? At the end of the day, let's leave our resources where they are. And if you find them, keep their secrets. Because one day, the top 1% wealthy are going to come in and they're going to take it from us, and they're going to keep us from going up into that land. We already see more of our lands being not accessible anymore. A lot of these trails that we used to travel up, you can't get to anymore. We're already getting it taken away. We're getting our resources taken. So if there's anything you can learn from this video, value nature, take care of nature, and don't let anybody come in and steal what's rightfully ours.